You go looking for CCleaner. Maybe you heard it speeds up Windows, clears old files, cleans up the registry. It has been one of the most downloaded Windows utilities for years. Over 2 billion downloads worldwide. The name is familiar. The icon is familiar. The download page looks exactly right. You click download. You run the installer. And nothing happens, or rather, nothing appears to happen. The familiar CCleaner interface doesn't open. Maybe you figure the installation failed. Maybe you try again. Maybe you just close the window and move on. What you don't see is what the file actually installed. Because what you downloaded from that website was not CCleaner. It was a piece of malware that just did something subtle and comprehensive to your Chrome browser, something that is now watching every keystroke you type into any login field, capturing screenshots of your active tabs, harvesting every cookie stored in your browser, and sending all of it to a server the attackers control. This is a real campaign, discovered by Malwarebytes researchers, and published this week. It is active right now. The website it used is still registered, and the attack it delivers is one of the more technically sophisticated browser targeting operations seen this year. Here's exactly how it works, what it does to your browser, and what you need to check tonight. CCleaner's brand value to cybercriminals is straightforward. 2 billion downloads means 2 billion people who have either used it or heard of it. When you recognize a name, your guard drops. You don't read the license agreement. You don't check the file metadata. You click through the installation because you've done this before and it was fine before. The attackers behind this campaign built a website designed to exploit exactly that recognition. The domain was c8cleaner.top, not CCleaner's real domain, which is ccleaner.com, but close enough that a user searching for the tool through a search engine might not catch the difference, especially if the fake result appeared in sponsored search positions. The page was professionally designed. It offered both a free download and a CCleaner Pro option with separate download buttons. Both buttons delivered the same file. The fake CCleaner.exe used the legitimate application's icon and file name so that at a glance in your downloads folder, it looked indistinguishable from the real thing. The only visible sign that something was wrong required looking at the file's metadata, internal information that normal users would never check. The real CCleaner has consistent version information in its embedded metadata. The fake version had an internal name of svc2sfpmp and an original file name of rtnmxk.exe. No legitimate CCleaner release uses those names, but you'd only know that if you went looking. Most people don't go looking, they just run the installer. When that installer executes, it begins one of the more methodical infection sequences that security researchers have documented recently. It doesn't immediately do something visibly destructive. It doesn't lock your files. It doesn't pop up a ransom demand. It works quietly, in stages, and by the time it's finished, it has done something that most security tools don't expect. The first thing the fake CCleaner.exe does is drop a legitimate copy of CScript, a Windows scripting engine, and use it to run a series of scripts. Those scripts accomplish several things in sequence. First, reconnaissance. The malware queries Windows registry entries to gather the machine's unique identifier, its name, and the system languages it supports. This information goes back to the attacker's infrastructure, so they know what they've infected. Second, persistence. The scripts write to a specific location in the Windows App Data folder, a path used by the genuine Windows runtime broker process, and to replace the file there with a malicious loader. This gives the malware a mechanism to remain active across reboots, hidden inside a path that looks like it belongs to Windows itself. Third, and most importantly, the malware goes after Chrome. Chrome ships with something called the Chrome Security Extension, a built-in component Microsoft and Google maintain as part of the browser's internal architecture. Under normal circumstances, this extension cannot be modified by external software, but the malware patches it directly. It rewrites the extension's manifest file to load 2 new JavaScript files that the malware drops into a local folder. This is where the campaign becomes technically notable. The attacker isn't installing an extension from the Chrome Web Store. They aren't asking you to click an Add to Chrome button. They are modifying Chrome's own internal extension infrastructure to inject their code directly into the browser's execution environment, silently, without any user prompt, without any visible change to the extensions list as you would normally see it. The 2 injected scripts call themselves GhostDesk. That name is borrowed from a legitimate software product, an AI-powered overlay tool, possibly chosen because the name helps disguise the screen capture functionality that the malware also performs. The scripts do not attempt to hide their other capabilities. Once GhostDesk is running inside Chrome, it establishes a connection to the attacker's command and control server through an encrypted WebSocket channel. The malware uses DuckDNS, a free dynamic DNS service, to route its traffic through a domain rather than a raw IP address, which makes blocking it by IP less effective and makes the connection appear less obviously malicious in network logs. Then the surveillance begins. The content script runs inside every browser tab and monitors input fields across every website Chrome loads. When you type into a form, any form, the script records your keystrokes as you type them. After 2 seconds of inactivity, or when you move to a different field, the buffered keystrokes are sent onward. If you type your password into a banking site, that password goes into the buffer. If you type it into your email, your work portal, your router configuration page, anywhere on any website in Chrome, it goes into the buffer. The script also intercepts form submissions. When you click a login button, the script acts as a man in the middle for that submission event, reading the form contents before they go to the server. It filters for specific keywords, terms associated with credentials, authentication tokens, and financial information. When it finds them, it captures the data. Separately, the script monitors your clipboard. If you paste something that resembles a cryptocurrency wallet address, it silently replaces what you pasted with the attacker's own wallet address. If you were about to send cryptocurrency to yourself, you now sent it to them. You may not notice until the transaction confirms. The background script running in Chrome's extension infrastructure handles a different set of tasks. It collects all cookies stored in your browser using Chrome's own cookie access APIs. Session cookies, authentication tokens, saved login states, anything stored in Chrome's cookie database flows to the attacker's server. It also captures screenshots of your active browser tab on command and can execute arbitrary JavaScript code inside any tab, meaning the attacker can, at any point, inject additional behavior into any web page you are looking at in Chrome. The full picture: keystrokes logged, form data captured, cookies stolen, screenshots taken, arbitrary code injected into live web pages, cryptocurrency addresses swapped, all of it running quietly inside what Chrome shows as its own internal extension infrastructure. The mechanism that makes this attack particularly difficult to detect by ordinary means is the same mechanism that makes it powerful. GhostDesk doesn't appear in Chrome's extensions list the way a normal extension would. It patches Chrome's internal security extension, a component that users would have no reason to inspect. The injected JavaScript files sit in a local app data folder, not in a location associated with user-installed extensions. There is no permission prompt asking the user to allow access to tabs, cookies, or keystroke data. The permissions are taken through the modification of Chrome's own code. This means the usual advice, check your extensions list and remove anything suspicious, is necessary but not sufficient for this specific campaign. Checking your extensions list will not show you GhostDesk if the infection route was through the Chrome security extension patch rather than through a normal extension installation. Checking requires looking in a less obvious place. Malwarebytes, which discovered and published this research, detects the fake CCleaner executable as Trojan, dropper, and blocks the connection to CCleaner.win.top. If you use Malwarebytes or another active security product that has been updated since August 11, 2026, detection should occur at the download stage. If you downloaded something calling itself CCleaner from any source other than CCleaner.com in recent weeks, particularly if the download came from a sponsored search result, a social media link, or any URL that wasn't exactly CCleaner.com, treating the system as potentially compromised is the appropriate response, not hoping for the best. The same campaign extended beyond CCleaner. Malwarebytes' researchers found fake versions of 7-Zip and Adobe Acrobat using the same CS script-based infection chain, connecting to the same command and control server. The specific files differed. The infrastructure behind them was identical. Popular software titles are the lure. The payload is the same, regardless of which title was used to deliver it. This is the pattern that makes this category of attack so durable. The attackers don't need to create a single successful fake. They need a supply of convincing lures and one working infection chain. They can rotate between software titles based on what's being searched, what's trending, and where they can buy or manipulate search visibility. CCleaner, 7-Zip, Adobe Acrobat, these are programs that millions of people search for regularly. The attackers need only intercept a small fraction of that search traffic with a plausible-looking fake site. Search engine-sponsored results are a known vector for this class of attack. Malicious actors purchase advertising positions for searches related to software downloads, often bidding on the exact product names. A user searching for download CCleaner free may see a sponsored result at the top of the page that leads to a convincingly designed fake. The position itself implies legitimacy to many users. If it's at the top of Google, it must be real. That assumption has been wrong consistently enough that security researchers treat sponsored software download results as inherently risky. The broader context for this campaign is a year in which browser extensions and browser-based malware have been a consistently prominent threat category. A February 2026 investigation found 30 malicious Chrome extensions that had been installed by more than 260,000 users. Those extensions rendered a hidden interface that overlaid the user's current web page. capturing credentials through a method that bypassed normal security review because the malicious code was hosted remotely rather than embedded in the submitted extension. Google's review process examines what is in the extension at submission time. Code that is fetched from a remote server after installation doesn't go through the same review. Separately, a March 2026 investigation documented the QuickLens extension, which changed ownership after publication, and then received a malicious update that stripped security headers from HTTP responses and enabled cross-origin requests in ways the original extension did not allow. The extension had legitimate users who installed it for genuine purposes, and those users received the malicious update the same way they would receive any normal extension update, automatically, silently, without review. These are 3 different attack models leading to the same place. A piece of code running inside Chrome with access to the browser's tabs, cookies, and network activity, capturing data that flows through the most security-sensitive activity most people do on their computers. Your browser is where you log into your bank, where you access your email, where you work, where you communicate, where you manage accounts. It is the most valuable real estate on your machine from an attacker's perspective. And the extension architecture, combined with the normal human tendency to install software that looks familiar and comes from a page that looks official, creates a consistent pathway in. What to do right now is a short list, and doing it tonight matters more than doing it perfectly next week. First, check where any recent CCleaner, 7-zip, or Adobe Acrobat download came from. If you downloaded from a sponsored search result or any domain that was not the official publisher's domain, the download should be treated as suspect. The official CCleaner domain is cacleaner.com. The official 7-zip domain is 7zip.org. Adobe software comes from adobe.com. Second, open Chrome and navigate to Chrome/extensions. Look at what is installed. Extensions you do not recognize, extensions you did not deliberately install, and extensions with vague names warrant removal. However, remember that GhostDesk in particular may not appear here as a visible user extension. It patches a different layer. Presence in the extensions list is not a clean bill of health. Third, run an updated security scan with a tool that has current threat intelligence. Malwarebytes detects the fake CCleaner executable specifically. Other updated security tools should similarly flag the components of this campaign, as their definitions include the published indicators of compromise. Fourth, if you have any reason to believe this infection may have reached your machine, change passwords for any service you accessed through Chrome on that machine, starting with email, banking, and anything connected to financial or professional access. Do this from a different device while the suspect machine is being cleaned. Session cookies stolen by GhostDesk can allow attackers to access accounts without needing your password at all, because the cookie can authenticate as you. Changing your password doesn't invalidate an existing stolen session token. Logging out of all sessions on critical accounts does. Fifth, be permanently skeptical of sponsored search results for software downloads. They are not vetted for legitimacy by the search engine in the same way organic results are. A legitimate software publisher will have a well-established domain. Anything that is not that domain, no matter how convincingly the page is designed, is a candidate for being a fake. The name GhostDesk is appropriate in a way the attackers probably didn't intend. It runs as a ghost inside Chrome. You don't see it in the places you'd normally look. It doesn't announce its presence with strange browser behavior or obvious system slowdowns. It sits in Chrome's execution environment, watching everything that passes through, and sends a continuous stream of your credentials, your sessions, and your browser activity to a server that the attackers check when it suits them. The attack began with a website designed to look trustworthy, distributing a file designed to look familiar, installing a payload designed to look like it wasn't there. That's the playbook for this entire category of threat. Every layer of the attack looks like something it isn't. The fake CCleaner looks like CCleaner. The fake website looks like the real CCleaner site. GhostDesk looks like part of Chrome. By the time anything looks wrong, it may already be too late for the accounts that were accessed in the hours or days before you noticed. Checking your extensions is one step. Understanding what just happened to your browser is another. The campaign is live. The infrastructure is still registered. And the only thing standing between a convincing fake download page and another victim is whether the person searching for software knows to look twice at what they're about to run.